Good afternoon, everyone. Our report is the chapter 3, which is all about the regional economic integration. So, what is this regional economic integration? So, regional economic integration include a multitude of economic and political steps that may be taken by member states of a union to increase their global competitiveness, not only preferential trade access. Regional integration helps countries, especially small and medium sized countries, scale up their supply capacity through regional production networks and become more globally competitive. For regional integration to be successful, member countries need to undertake spatial transformation and allow efficient geographic distribution of economic activities within and among countries. So, economic integration refers to the process which different economies become more interconnected, involves various forms of cooperation among countries such as the elimination of trade barriers or the tariffs and quotas, the establishments of common economic policies and the coordination of regulations and standards. So, what is this undertake spatial transformations? So, it aims to create a more integrated and efficient economic system that benefits all participating regions. Overall, its goal is to promote economic growth, increase efficiency, and foster closer relationship among participating countries. So we have the stages of regional integration. First is the free trade area, an area in which two or more countries agree to eliminate all barriers to trade, such as tariffs, quotas, and non tariff barriers like border restrictions, while at the same time keeping their own external tariffs within the World Trade Organization guidelines against non members. So, in free trade area, it agrees to reduce or eliminate trade barriers such as tariffs or quotas on goods traded among them. However, each country maintain its own tariffs or quotas on goods imported from other outside countries in the free trade area. Like for example is the NAFTA or the North American Free Trade Agreement, which was signed in 1994 by the United States, Canada, and Mexico. NAFTA eliminates tariffs on most goods traded between the three countries. Although they are eliminating their tariffs and quotas, but it has its own trade barriers when in terms of importing goods from the other non-member countries. If they implement or they have already a specific tariffs on the goods traded, they will not be changed. Another example of free trade area is the ASEAN Free Trade Area or the AFTA, which was established in 1992 by the Association of Southern Asian Nations or ASEAN member countries. The countries are Brunei, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam. So these countries aim to reduce tariffs among ASEAN countries to promote trade and economic integration. The second stage is the custom union, or a group of three free trade member countries that have adopted a common external tariff with non-member countries. So in this stage, it eliminates tariff between member countries and adopts a common external tariffs on important or on imports from non-member countries, apply the same custom duties to goods imported from outside the union. Additionally, a custom union often involves a higher level of economic integration than a free trade area, as it may also include common policies on trade with non member countries, and sometimes it includes common regulations on product standards. One example of custom union is the European Union or EU. The EU member countries from a custom union with a common external tariffs are set on imports from non-EU countries. This means that goods imported into any EU country are subject to the same tariffs regardless of which EU country they enter first. Additionally, the EU has a single market which allows for the free movement of goods, services, capital, and people among its member countries. The third stage is the common market or single market. A market formed when a member countries of a custom union remove all barriers to allow the movement of capital and labor within the custom union. So what is this common market? So it goes beyond a customs union by allowing the free movement of goods, services, capital, and the labor among member countries. In addition to having a common external tariffs on import from non-member countries. This means that countries in a common market not only eliminate tariffs and quotas on trade among themselves, but also removes restriction in the movement of factors of production such as labor and capital. An example of common market is the European single market, which is part of the broader European Union or EU. This single market allows for free movement of goods, service, capital, and people among member countries. This means that businesses can trade goods and services, establish operations, and provide service across EU borders without facing barriers such as tariffs, quotas, or discrimination based on nationality. The fourth stage is the economic and monetary union. This is a union formed when members of a common market agree to implement common social programs on education, employee benefits and retraining, health care, and etc. And also coordinated macroeconomic policies such as fiscal and monetary policies that would lead to the creation of a single regional currency and a regional apex central bank. So, what is this monetary and economic union? Um, this involves the coordination of economic policies and the use of a common monetary currency among member countries. In an economic and monetary union, member countries typically adopt a single currency and coordinate their monetary policies through a central monetary authority such as the central bank. For example, the Eurozone, which consists of 19 of the 27 European Union member countries that have adopted the euro as their official currency. The Eurozone countries have a common monetary policy, which is set by the European Central Bank, and they coordinate their economic policies through the Economic and Monetary Union framework. So the Eurozone countries share a common currency, the euro, which allows for easier trade and financial transactions among them. However, they also face challenges such as coordinating fiscal policies and managing divergent economic conditions among member countries. So, what are these 19 out of 27 European Union member countries? So, um, the countries are Australia, Belgium, Cyprus, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Ireland, Italy, Latvia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malta, Netherlands, and Portugal. So that those are the countries that adopt the euro as their official currency. So the last stage is the political union. This is the union created when member countries of an economic and monetary union work closely with one another to arrive at common defense and foreign policies and behave as a single country. So, this political union, as a formal concept, does not exist in the same way as economic unions or trade bloc. However, these are organizations and unions that represent politicians and political interests. Politicians often form alliances or unions within political parties or across parties for various purposes. An example of this is the International Democrat Union or IDU, which is an alliance of center right political parties around the world. These organizations aims to promote cooperation and exchange of ideas among their member parties and politicians. So we have pros and cons of regional integration. So the benefits of regional integration include number 1, creating a larger pool of consumers for growing incomes and similar cultures, taste, and social values. Second, encouraging economies of scale in production, increasing the region's level of global competitiveness, and enhancing economic growth through investment flows. Next, freeing the flow of capital, labor, technology, and the most productive areas in the region. Next, increasing cooperation, peace, and security among countries in the region. And lastly, encouraging member states to enhance their level of social welfare to match that of most progressive states. So this next is the cost of regional integration includes the following. Number 1 is undermining the most favored nation status rule, or the lowest tariff applicable to one member must be extended to all members, an essential principle of the World Trade Organization. Next is imposing laws and regulations that are uniform and that at times do not take into account national, economic, cultural, and social differences. Third, eliminating jobs and increasing unemployment in protected industries. Losing sovereignty, national independence, and identity. Reducing the power of national government, and lastly, increasing the probability of rising crime associated with illegal drugs and terrorism because of this ease of cross-border labor movements.
Let's proceed to the steps of regional integration. First is start small. Regional integration should have clear goals and initially address a narrow, well-disciplined area of cooperation in which the cost and benefits are easily defined. So, there is a start small since pagsisimula ito or starting ito ng regional integration, dapat naamoy clear or malinaw na goals para sa inyong integration. Like for example, or ang example is ang ASEAN Free Trade Area or AFTA, kung asa una silang nag-focus sa pagtanggal ng mga taripa sa kanilang bansa at iba pang mga hadlang sa kalakalan sa loob ng region. And also, diri sa start small is mangita ka mo og lugar or well-disciplined area para mas mapadali ang kooperasyon ng bawat bansa or miyembro ng inyong integration. And isa po diri sa start small is dali nyo po ma-detect or matukoy ang mga magasto nyo or nagasto and kung unsa to ang mga benefits ng inyong regional integration. Kay dili pa man jud as in na daghan ang nasabutan nyo na goal para sa inyong integration. Kung baga, dili pa malawak ang inyong layunin ng inyong integration kay ara pa man mo sa starting point ng regional integration. So, amo na siya ang start small. And the next is think global. So, think global. Regional integration should not create unconnected or isolated countries. Instead, it should help countries to gain access to world markets that they may not have access to otherwise. So, dapat diri sa think global is dapat wala ginahiwalay ng regional integration ang mga bansa. Instead na dapat may kaugnayan Japon sila sa mga dagko or mga world market kay para mas mas mapadali pod ang pag-access nila or may ma-accessan sila og mga produkto na kailangan pod nila, especially itong mga sa mga mahihina na mga bansa. And also makahelp pod ni sa ilaha sa pagtaas gud sa ilang rate sa sa ilang pagtaas ng rate of competition sa ibang kumbaga mapataas gud ang ilahang competition sa iba pang antas or pandaigdigang antas. And then diri sa compensate the less fortunate concentration of economic activity generally follows regional integration because firms will want to specialize by increasing the scale of production in fewer places. So, diri sa compensate the least fortunate is naga-focus ni siya or naga-concentrate ni siya sa mga active na ekonomiya kung asa ang ubang mga rehiyon or industriya ay makakuha og mas daghan pa nga benefits kaysa sa uban. Diri man gud sa kung sa regional integration kung unsa to nga lugar ang mas sentro sa industriya ay amo pud to ang mostly na ginapili para sa produksyon, which is makakos pod siya sa uban nga lugar og kahinaan or kawalan ng pagkakakitaan kay wala naman gud sila kayo ginapili para sa produksyon. So ang kaning regional integration may layunin sila na ma-distribute gud og pantay-pantay ang benefit sa tanan. So ang katong mga nawalaan og trabaho kay tungod wala na sila ginapili para sa production, may hakbang ang regional integration para kumbaga nag-conduct sila program para matabangan tong mga tao or mga lugar nga mga kanang wala na kaayoy pagkakakitaan, like gina-train sila sa mga iba't ibang trabaho like pagiging assistant or social welfare at iba pang mga trabaho na maaaring pagkakakitaan nila bukod dun sa produksyon na ilahang ginatrabaho dati. Next is major classes and characteristic of regional integration. First is regional blocks close to world markets. Market success is essential for economic growth, and proximity to major world markets is an essential for just-in-time production, export of perishable goods, and tradable services. So, itong regional blocks close to world market is, ito yung mga lugar na malapit sa mga world market na nagbibigay sa kanila ng mas madaling akses sa pandaigdigang kalakalan at mga oportunidad sa ekonomiya. Madalas rin silang nakikinabang sa just-in-time production. Ibig sabihin, sila agad yung tumutugon sa mga pangangailangan ng merkado. Kung baga sila yung mas madaling nakakaproduce ng mga goods or services dun sa world market. Ang halimbawa nito ay ang European Union. Ang mga bansa na nakapaloob sa European Union ay sila yung may mas madaling access sa mga world market. At nagpapabilis din ito ng pagdaloy ng kalakalan at paglaki ng kanilang ekonomiya. Second is remote regions with large local market. A large local market gives countries the advantage of attracting industrial activities. So dito naman sa remote regions with large local market, ito yung mga lugar na malayo sa mga world market or malalaking merkado. Ngunit sila ay may malaking lokal na ekonomiya. So kahit na sila ay malayo sa pandaigdigang merkado, ang mga rehiyong ito ay maaaring makapag-akit ng mga active sa ekonomiya sa industriya dahil sa malaking lokal na merkado. Ang halimbawa nito ang rehiyon ng Amazon sa Brazil. Bagamat ito ay malayo sa mga pandaigdigang sentro ng kalakalan, ang malaking population at lumalaking middle class nito ay nagbibigay ng oportunidad para sa mga industriya na magtatag at magbigay serbisyo sa lokal na pangangailangan. Last is the remote region with small local market. International integration is most difficult countries to regions that are divided, far from world markets and lack the economic size of large local economy. So ito naman ang remote regions with small local market. Ito yung mga lugar na malayo sa mga malalaking pandaigdigang merkado at may relasyong maliit na lokal na ekonomiya. So dito sa kanila, mahirap ang international na pag-integrate para sa mga rehiyong ito dahil sa kanilang geographical na pag-iisa, pagkakaputol-putol at kakulangan ng sukat ng lokal na market. Ang halimbawa nito ang mga isla sa Pacific na kung saan sila ay naharap sa mga hamon sa pag-akses sa pandaigdigang merkado dahil sa kanilang layo mula sa mga malalaking sentro ng ekonomiya at limitadong sukat ng lokal na ekonomiya, na ginagawa itong mas mahirap para sa kanila na makilahok sa internasyonal na kalakalan kumpara sa mga rehiyon na may mas malaking lokal na merkado. So mas better pa yung pangalawa na remote region with large local market. Dahil even na malayo sila sa world market, may large local market naman sila kumpara dito sa remote region with small local markets. Dahil may maliit lamang ito na local na ekonomiya. So next is the European Union. The European Union headquarters in Brussels, Belgium is the most highly involved example of regional integration in the world. It is already in the fourth stage of the economic integration process and is moving toward the final step that requires political union with common defense and foreign policy institution. The origin of the EU can be traced to the creation of the European Coal and Steel Community or ECSC, which established a common market in coal, steel, and iron among the 6 founding member countries: France, West Germany, Italy, Belgium, the Netherlands, and Luxembourg in 1952. So ang kaning European Union is mauni siya ang pinakamahusay na halimbawa ng regional integration. Naana ni sila sa ika-upat nga stage, which is ang economic union. And then padulong na po ni sila or paabot na po ni sila sa sa ikalimang stage of the economic integration process, which is ang political union. So na-discuss man jud ni Dayan Sibuko ato ang first reporter. So I hope nakasabot mo ani na ang political union is naana ni siya mga institution ng mga common na depensa at polisyang panlabas. And then sa pagsimula ng ng EU, so nagsimula or nag-start ang EU or European Union sa pag-create ng European Coal and Steel Community or ECST, which established a common market in coal, steel, and iron sa pamamagitan ng 6 na nagtataguyod na bansa, including France, West Germany, Italy, Belgium, the Netherlands, and Luxembourg in 1952. So next is Turkey. As of now, the fate of EU candidate country Turkey is still uncertain, a case that has been highly controversial. Geographically, only about 5% of Turkey's landmass is in Europe. If Turkey were admitted to the EU in the near future, then by 2020 it would be the largest member based on population, with significant voting rights, which could potentially change the nature of the EU. Although Turkey applied to join the EU in 1987, and EU's consultation with Turkey has continued since 2004, the issue of whether Turkey will be admitted to the EU continues to be controversial and questionable. So there is a ang kaning sa Turkey is wala pa ni siya kasiguraduhan or wala pa tiyak ang pagtanggap ng European Union sa Turkey. Although nag-apply na ang Turkey sa EU or European Union noong 1987 pero dili pa Japon tiyak na matanggap sila sa EU. Kay kung if ever man good na makasulod ang Turkey sa EU, may posibilidad man na makahatag siya dako nga implikasyon sa EU na maaaring magdulot ng pinakamalaking miyembro nito in 2020 based sa population nga naay dako nga kasiguraduhan nga mapabag-o ani ang European Union it because of the population. So amo ni siya ang sa Turkey. And then the next is the euro. The euro as part of the Maastricht Treaty of 1992, the euro EU single currency was introduced on January 1, 1999. Its performance stability until the start of the European sovereign debt crisis that originated with Greece, followed by Ireland, Spain, Italy, Cyprus, and Portugal in April 2010 was remarkable, and the euro was considered the crowning success of the EU's plans to integrate European economies. So ang kaning so sa ilalim ng or under sa Maastricht Treaty ng 1992 gipakilala ang euro bilang bilang pera ng European Union noong January 1, 1999. It performs stability until the start of the European sovereign debt crisis that originated with Greece, followed by the Ireland, Spain, Italy, Cyprus, and Portugal noong April 2010. And then ang kaning euro is considered ni siya as a crowning success of EU's plan to integrate European economics. So amo ni siya ang ang euro.
North American Free Trade Agreement. NAFTA is a comprehensive free trade agreement among Canada, the United States, and Mexico that addresses issues ranging from the protection of workers' rights and the environment to pace reduction of tariff and non-tariff trade barriers, which were eliminated in 2009. NAFTA negotiations begin in 1990. The agreement was signed by the three governments in December 1992, ratified by the legislatures of the three countries, and went into effect on January 1, 1994. NAFTA is a big deal between Canada, US, and Mexico, where they agreed to trade stuff without charging each other a lot of extra money or tariffs. It's kind of like when you and your friends swap snacks without having to pay each other. For example, before NAFTA, if Canada wanted to sell cars to the US, they might have to pay extra fees to do so. But with NAFTA, those fees went away.
making it easier and cheaper for Canada to sell cars in the US. This made trade between these countries smoother and helped businesses grow. Also, NAFTA has rules about treating workers fairly and protecting the environment. So it's not just about trading goods, but also making sure everyone benefits. The North American Free Trade Agreement has three major objectives. First is the expansion of trade in goods and services through the phased elimination of all trade barriers, including tariffs, quotas, and licensing restrictions among the parties. It wants to make it easier for countries to trade things like goods, stuff you buy, and services like banking by getting rid of barriers like taxes on import or tariffs, limits on how much can be traded or quotas, and rules about who can sell what or licensing. For example, before NAFTA, if you wanted to sell orange from Mexico in the US, there might be a tax making them more expensive. NAFTA helped remove the tax, making it easier for Mexican oranges to be sold in the US. Second objective is the protection of intellectual property rights. NAFTA wants to protect ideas and inventions called intellectual property so that people can steal or copy them without permission. For example, if someone in Canada invents a new gadget, NAFTA helps make sure that their invention is protected from being copied and sold without their permission in the US or Mexico. Third objective is the creation of institutions to address potential problems. NAFTA sets up organizations to deal with any problems that might come up between the countries involved, like disputes over trade rules or agreements. These organizations help solve these issues peacefully and fairly. Association of Southeast Asian Nation or ASEAN. ASEAN, headquartered in Jakarta, Indonesia, was established in August 1967 by five founding members: Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, Singapore, and Thailand. ASEAN's current membership stands at 10. Brunei joined in 1984, Vietnam in 1995, Laos and Myanmar in 1997, and Cambodia in 1999. ASEAN's two main objectives are to accelerate economic growth, social progress, and cultural development in the region, and to promote regional peace and stability through the rule of law and relationship among countries in the region. Firstly, ASEAN aims to boost economic growth, improve social well-being, and support cultural development among its member countries. For example, by reducing trade barriers and promoting cooperation in various sectors like tourism and education, ASEAN helps its members countries grow economically and socially. The second objective, to promote regional peace and stability through the rule of law and relationship among countries in the region. ASEAN seeks to maintain peace and stability in the region by ensuring that countries follow law and agreements. An example of this is the ASEAN Regional Forum or ARF, where member countries discuss security issues and work together to prevent conflicts by promoting dialogue and cooperation. ASEAN helps prevent tensions and contribute to peace in the region. In 2003, ASEAN leaders agreed to establish an ASEAN community based on three pillars: ASEAN Security Community, ASEAN Economic Community, and ASEAN Socio-Cultural Community.
ASEAN Security Community or ASC. Since ASEAN establishment in 1967, tension has never escalated into armed confrontation among its member countries. ASC's objective is to ensure that countries in the region live in peace with one another and rely exclusively on peaceful processes in the settlement of intra-regional differences and recognition of security interdependence in the Asia-Pacific region. ASEAN established the ASEAN Regional Forum to discuss major security issues in the region, including relationships with the major powers, non-proliferation, counterterrorism, and transnational crime. The ASEAN, or Association of Southeast Asian Nations Security Community, refers to one of the three pillars of the ASEAN community. The objective of the ASEAN Security Community is to promote regional peace, stability, and resilience in Southeast Asia through cooperation and dialogue among ASEAN member states. The ASEAN Security Community aims to achieve the following goals. First, political and security cooperation. Second, conflict prevention and resolution. Third, military cooperation. Fourth, non-traditional security challenges. Fifth, regional architecture. In summary, the ASEAN Security Community is a framework for promoting cooperation, dialogue, and confidence building among member states to enhance regional security and stability in Southeast Asia. It reflects ASEAN's commitment to fostering a peaceful and security environment for the mutual benefit of all countries in the region. ASEAN Economic Community. The goal is to create a stable, prosperous, and highly competitive ASEAN economic region in which there is a free flow of goods, services, investment, and capital, and simultaneously to reduce poverty and socio-economic disparities. Although the ASEAN Economic Community calls for establishment of a single market and production base, unlike the AU, it does not call for the free movement of labor across ASEAN. It aims to promote economies of scale and specialization in production by eliminating tariff and non-tariff barriers among member countries. The ASEAN Economic Community is one of the three pillars of the ASEAN community. The AAC aims to create a single market and production base among the 10 member states of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations to promote economic integration, competitiveness, and inclusive growth in the region. Key features and objectives of the ASEAN Economic Community include: first, single market and production base. Second, free trade area. Third, customs integration. Fourth, investment liberalization. And fifth, enhanced connectivity. Sixth, sustainable and inclusive growth. In summary, the ASEAN Economic Community is a comprehensive economic integration initiative that aims to create a more competitive, dynamic, and resilient economic region in Southeast Asia by promoting trade liberalization, investment facilitation, and economic cooperation. The AAC seeks to boost economic growth, enhance regional competitiveness, and improve the well-being of the people in ASEAN member states. ASEAN Socio-Cultural Community. The objective is to ensure that the ASEAN workforce is well prepared to benefit from the economic integration process that is underway. Programs are being put into place through investments in basic and higher education training, R&D, and raising the standards of disadvantaged groups and rural population through better public health care and social protection. So the ASEAN Socio-Cultural Community is one of the three pillars of the ASEAN community. The ASCC aims to foster a cohesive and inclusive ASEAN community that promotes social development, cultural cooperation, and people-centered initiatives in Southeast Asia. There are six key features and objectives of the ASEAN Socio-Cultural Community include: first, social development. Second, cultural cooperation. Third, human development. Fourth, environmental sustainability. Fifth, gender equality and women's empowerment. Sixth, and last is youth engagement. In summary, the ASEAN Socio-Cultural Community is a framework for promoting social development, cultural cooperation, and people-centered initiatives in Southeast Asia. By fostering a cohesive and inclusive ASEAN community, The ASCC aims to enhance the well-being, diversity, and resilience of the people in the region and promote a sense of shared identity and belonging among ASEAN member states. The future of ASEAN. ASEAN's Vision 2020 calls for aggressive outward-looking economic policies. Several bilateral free trade agreements or FTAs are currently being implemented. The ASEAN-Japan Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement covers trade in goods, services, investment and economic cooperation that came to force on December 31, 2008. The ASEAN-Australia New Zealand FTA, called AANZFTA, was signed in February 2009, and the ASEAN-India FTA was signed in January 2010. Soon after the ASEAN-South Korea was realized on January 1, 2010, the initial framework agreement with China, ASEAN-China FTA, was signed in November 2002 and became fully operational on January 1, 2015. If all goes as planned, the ASEAN-inspired FTAs will create the world's largest free trade area, which will comprise much of Asia. The future of ASEAN involves several potential scenarios based on current trends, challenges, and opportunity facing the region. Here are some key aspects to consider when thinking about the future of ASEAN. First, economic growth. ASEAN is expected to continue its economic growth trajectory driven by factors such as a young and growing population, rising middle class, and increasing integration within the region and with the global economy. Efforts to deepen economic integration through initiatives like the ASEAN Economic Community and regional trade agreements are likely to contribute to sustained economic development in the future. Second, challenges. ASEAN faces various challenges including economic disparities among member states, infrastructure gaps, environmental sustainability issues, political tensions, and security threats such as terrorism and territorial disputes. Addressing these challenges will be crucial for the long-term stability and prosperity of the region. Third, geopolitical dynamics. ASEAN's role in the evolving geopolitical landscape, particularly in the context of major power competition and its strategic interest in the Indo-Pacific region, will shape its future. Balancing relations with key eternal powers like the United States, China, Japan, and others while maintaining ASEAN centrality and unity will be a key challenge. Fourth, digital transformation. The digital economy is expected to play an increasingly important role in ASEAN's future growth and competitiveness. Efforts to promote digital innovations, connectivity, and skills development will be essentials for harnessing the opportunities presented by digital transformation. Fifth, climate change and sustainability. ASEAN member states are vulnerable to the impacts of climate change, including rising sea levels, extreme weather events, and environmental degradation. Addressing climate change and promoting sustainability will be critical for the future resilience and well-being of the region. Last is regional cooperation. Strengthening regional cooperation and institutional mechanisms within ASEAN will be important for addressing shared challenges and advancing common interests. Enhancing ASEAN unity, consensus building, and cooperation in areas like trade, security, and social development will be key to shaping the future of the region. In conclusion, the future of ASEAN is likely to be shaped by a combination of economic opportunities, challenges, geopolitical dynamics, technological advancement, and sustainability imperatives by addressing key issues, fostering cooperation, and adapting to changing circumstances. ASEAN can continue to play a significant role in promoting peace, stability, and prosperity in Southeast Asia and the wider Indo-Pacific region. Regional integration in Latin America. Although the countries of Latin America have significant natural as well as human resources, the region has been a patchwork of constantly changing regional trade and investment agreements. The first step toward free trade in Latin America was taken with the signing of the Treaty of Montevideo in 1960, creating the Latin American Free Trade Association, or LAFTA. With the anticipated success of NAFTA, formal discussion to establish a free trade area of the America began in 1944 under the Clinton administration. This idea was initiated at the Summit of the Americas attended by 34 nations, all countries of Latin America excluding Cuba. If and when implemented, the FTAA would encompass 800 million people in a huge regional economy. Based on the information about the various regional trade blocs, it is apparent that if multilateral trade and investment liberalization fails to continue, regional integration blocs are likely to be the way of the future. Regional integration in Latin America refers to the process through which countries in the region come together to deepen economic, political, social, and cultural cooperation in pursuit of common goals. Various regional organization initiatives have been established in Latin America with the aim of promoting integration and collaboration among members. Here are some key aspects of regional integration in Latin America. First is organization. Second, trade agreements. Third, infrastructure development. Fourth, political cooperation. Fifth, challenges. And last, future prospects. In summary, regional integration in Latin America is a complex and ongoing process that involves multiple dimensions and challenges. By fostering cooperation, dialogue, and collaboration among countries in the region, Latin America can work towards promoting shared prosperity, stability, and development for the benefit of its people.